All right. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, no big deal. Just kind of find their way into the playoffs. Had what felt like maybe the quietest season ever, and they dispatched the Dallas Cowboys in the first round and hang 48 points on them. Go right down the field, score when the game started. Then they tack on a pick six, and it was just kind of off to the races from that point on.
The final score was 48-32. That final score is not indicative of what we watched.
It was like, was it 48-16 at one point?
Yeah.
42-16? Yeah.
48-16. Packers scored with 10:23 to go in the fourth. Dallas got two garbage time touchdowns, and one team had a quarterback that looked extremely confident, that looked almost shockingly calm, got his offense into all the right plays, was changing protections, making sure he was protecting himself, was delivering accurate footballs, pushing it down the field. And that guy played for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love was awesome in this game, dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
And on the other side, Dak with another very disappointing playoff performance that, let's be real, man, he is going to get hammered for.
Yeah. This is what's crazy to me. If Jordan Love, and it looks like he's going to slide right in and everything's going to work out. Let's say he plays 10 years there. The Green Bay Packers will have had three quarterbacks over 40 years. Is that the most insane thing ever in sports?
Yes.
How crazy is that, man?
Just think about what has happened at the quarterback position for New England since Tom Brady left.
Perfect example.
The Packers have, and I'm not even comparing Brett Favre to Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, but it looks like Jordan Love is going to be, at the very least, what, a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback?
He's off to a really good start.
He looked, yeah. I couldn't have been more impressed with him in that game. He was in complete control of that offense.
Yeah. I listened to some of it as I ran to town, and like, I don't know, like on a third and long, just moving around in the pocket, move outside, move back into the pocket, and deliver like a 25, 30-yard strike down the middle of the field to pick up a first down and keep a drive moving. And yeah, it looks smooth and efficient, and you just let things come to you. And it was like with Dak, like, this is the moment, been great all year, but this is the part where, the Cowboys traditionally choke, and it felt like Prescott was worried about that before he even stepped on the field today.
That game, when it was 14-0, just like that, right? The interception, and I don't know how much you can blame Dak for the early interception. He's thrown it where it needs to be, and I think that was Gilgeous-ALexander. It's a really good play.
Mm-hmm.
Refs letting him play, really good play. But it was 14-0 in the blink of the eye. And I turned to my wife, I said, I think the Cowboys are about to get blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a nightmare start. And for everyone that's been around, fans included, that doubt crept in quickly, like, oh my gosh, here we go again. And I don't know what happens to Mike McCarthy after that, but they straight up laid an egg. Belichick? I don't know.
Vrabel? I don't know. Harbaugh? Gruden. I don't know what they're gonna do, man. It's
That Dallas defense got diced up.
I know it. I
Run
know it.
game, screen
Run game
game,
was crazy.
vertical passing game, receivers, tight ends. Aaron Jones is a stud. That
Yeah,
guy's so good. But
it's
I
just
still
crazy,
can't believe
man.
how calm Jordan Love looked. He looked like the guy that had played in a bunch of playoff games, not Dak Prescott.
Yeah, it's wild. I still I cannot get over how successful Green Bay has been able to be at getting their next franchise quarterback. It's crazy. And to think like it could get difficult for that franchise if they ever had like a couple of misses back to back. You know, I mean, they've got a built-in great fan base. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, not easiest place in the world to recruit free agents to go play. You know, I mean, they've got some built-in, um, speed bumps, I guess you would say, but hit it out of the park. It's crazy.
Dallas, another disappointing end. There are going to be a lot of calls for change
Yeah.
in that organization, and I don't know what's going to happen. They had moments this season where they looked fantastic.
There'll be change. I mean, everyone thought there was going to be change last year, right? And I just can't imagine with the way that place operates that they don't have some big things happen there.
Well, how about there's a lot of coach openings, right? There's a lot of vacancies. Dan Quinn's name has been connected to several of them, especially Seattle. And that defense, the defense that he's in charge of, just went out there and did that.
Brutal.
Not great. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Ooh, OU men's hoops.
Mm.
Tried to go up and get the reverse the curse, get the win in the fog, and started off solid. They were right there toe to toe, played with them for pretty much the first half, and then just couldn't answer the bell whenever they came out for the second half. Kansas extended really quickly, got up on them, and then at that point it was just too much.
It was a tough watch in the second half, especially the last 12 minutes or so.
Right.
It looked like the first half was great, wildly entertaining, back and forth.
Shot making. Yeah.
I thought both teams were playing at a high level. And then in the second half, Kansas kind of took it to another level and OU wasn't able to match it.
Yeah.
They weren't really able to get close.
Mm-mm.
So
yeah, once we weren't able to continue to hit all the shots from the outside. We just couldn't keep pace with what Kansas was doing on the interior. Too many easy buckets. So that's a tough place to win. And especially whenever when they extend a lead on you and go on a run, and as loud as that place gets, it just feels so overwhelming to be able to claw your way out of it. And it's just a talented, really well coached basketball team.
Bill Self's pretty good at the whole coaching thing.
Pretty good.
Hunter Dickinson, he did not play very well, in my opinion, in their loss to UCF. I thought he bounced back nicely, and Centers didn't really have an answer for him.
Mm-hmm.
McCullough, and he didn't shoot it particularly well, especially from three against OU. I think he was 1 for 5 or so. But his improvement as a shooter this season, I think he's one of the most improved players on the offensive end in all of college basketball. Defense was always his thing. He's long, really long guard, but his shooting has gone to another level. And yeah, man, I was really hoping that it would be at least a game that came down to the last few possessions where we could complain about the refs, but
I know
we couldn't even do that because the back half of the second half, the two teams felt it. Let's be real. It felt like there was a gap.
Yep, that's right. It did. And, you know, it honestly, it doesn't mean a whole lot about Oklahoma. You don't have to feel like all of a sudden they're not what you hoped they were going to be. That's how this conference goes, man. It's going to be really difficult to win any game on the road, let alone going in and beating Kansas on the road. So, still a good team. I'm still hopeful for what they can accomplish this year. They just got to continue to get better, take better care of the basketball, and you know, we'll see. They'll be fine.
Off to a 1-2 start in Big 12 play, but so is Texas. So is Houston. This league, it's going to be a bloodbath, man. It is
Yeah,
going to be an absolute bloodbath.
I was looking at the standings, and there's like 4 teams in the top 10 in the country that aren't even in the top 4 in the conference right now.
It's going to be a fun year, and I think that this OU team is much better. They're way more fun to watch for me. It's just way more entertaining style of
Yeah.
basketball for me, especially on the offensive end. But yeah, I know this. You got to protect home court.
I have to.
You got to steal some on the road, but they have to protect home court. So, OU fans, keep showing up to the Lloyd Nobles Center. I do radio during basketball season sometimes with King McClure, and he was on the call for the Iowa State game, and he texted me and said, "Hey, this is by far the best I've ever seen it since he's been doing it."
Yeah.
So people are starting to notice. So you fans keep showing up. That team's going to need you because they need to protect home court. Can't be losing your home games, Ted.
Nope. Nope. Got to hold serve in this conference. Absolutely. 100%.
Let's finish up with my winner and loser. But first,
Elevate your tailgate with Chapel Supply and Equipment, Oklahoma City. Chapel Supply and Equipment has generators and inverters on hand that'll give you all the power you need so you can take your tailgate to the next level. They've also got top of the line heaters to keep you warm during those cold tailgates later in the season. Oklahoma owned and operated. Elevate your tailgate by calling 405-495-1722 or visit chapelsupply.com. That's CHAPPELL supply.com.
And attention, business owners, you need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at Insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com.
And head to opolisclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLISclothing.com. Use promo code TED, TED, for 10% off. That's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
For my winner of the weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
I was at the Chiefs Dolphins game. I witnessed history. I was part of history. It was the coldest game ever at Arrowhead. They said it over the PA system. And I think they said it was the 4th coldest recorded temperature in NFL history. It was really cold. But I wasn't cold because I was prepared, baby. And I had people say, "No, you were sitting in a suite." No, I wasn't. I was not in a suite. I did have club level tickets and I could go inside if I wanted to, but I didn't. I stayed out in the elements and I watched a football game. And I was seriously underwhelmed by Tua. Whoa. But
yeah,
let's talk about the weather a little bit. I had a heated vest, heated socks, heated gloves, fleece-lined boots around the heated socks, brought cardboard to stand on. I was a dang Boy Scout, man. My wife and I, we were prepared. We brought our 2.5-year-old. He was loving it. I mean, he was head to toe covered, just warm as could be. Kid wasn't feeling anything. I was nearly sweating. our seats somehow are kind of blocked from the wind. So it was great. And there are so many funny things about it. I've never seen more ski goggles at a football game in my life. It was almost distracting in the crowd. Like if you looked at the crowd, you just saw like these flashes of everyone's ski goggles, like the reflective ones.
That's funny.
It was pretty cool. There's no doubt in my mind that is the most ski goggles worn at an NFL game. There's just no doubt. But there's this beer vendor that kept coming by us, and he was yelling, hot beer, it'll keep you warm." It had no ice on it. It was I'd never seen that in my entire life. But I did have a proud dad moment.
Okay.
My son was bundled up. He had like a full-on bodysuit on that we got him last year. And I asked him several times in the first half, "Buddy, I know it's really cold. Do you want to go inside?" And my wife would ask him. And eventually he just turns to me and goes, "Dada, I want to watch the game." Well, all right then, son. But we went into the club level. We got some food, some drinks at halftime. Nice and warm in there, Ted. Real
Yeah.
nice. It wasn't minus 20 whatever wind chill like it was out in the elements. But we got him out of the suit, let him run around a little bit. And in my head, I was thinking, I'm going to watch this second half out there by myself. My wife's not coming back out there. My son's certainly not coming back out there. Well, I'm sitting in the seat. Maybe 2 minutes go by in the third quarter. And here comes my son just walking down the stairs. And I was shocked. I was, "Wow, buddy, what's up?" And my wife's right behind him. And she goes, "He said he wanted to come back outside. It's just a football guy, baby. Let's go."
I love it. I love it. Yeah, all I could think of is Dumb and Dumber whenever, he's got the wear these gloves. My hands are starting to sweat. Everyone else is out there freezing and you're
You
electrified.
had
Warm
you
as
had
can
an
be.
extra pair of gloves this entire time. I it was cold, dude. It was really cold, but it was funny. I was getting drinks with the old Belldozer after the game, and he said he was trying to do smelling salts on the sideline and that his nose just
It didn't
didn't
work.
work. Like just couldn't smell a thing. And you know how strong those things are. So it looked like a miserable experience to play in that football game. But as far as the game, that's a performance to forget for the Dolphins.
You knew it was going to happen. I mean,
Everyone said they were going to play awful in that weather, and well,
yeah, it was
nailed
bad.
it.
They couldn't even complete, when they're just trying to throw like a bubble or whatever you want to call it to the outside to let someone go to work with the ball in their hands, and they couldn't even complete those. It was terrible.
The
Terrible.
the the run game didn't help them at all. They couldn't get it going. Kansas City's defense really controlled things at the line of scrimmage, but and especially watching Jordan Love for the Packers, Tua just seemed he was not seeing it, man. He seemed late all game long. It did not look like he was seeing things well. Multiple times where it looked like he was surprised by pressures that I could see. And now I'm sitting up there at the top. You got a much better view up there. But with how prepared I know NFL quarterbacks are for games, I know he saw some of these pressures coming. And I have to assume he knows where his protection is working. And he looked surprised by some of these things.
Well, what about the 4th and 2 down near the goal line where they're in a 2-man front, Kansas City on defense, and he doesn't do anything, doesn't recognize it at all? That's crazy.
I, I, he
So what
left a
happens when
lot
you're
to be.
worried about the cold, right? You can't think about anything else. How do I get the hell off this football field is all you can think about.
I was very underwhelmed with him. Even the touchdown to Tyreek Hill, I'll say it was a horrible ball. It was horrible.
Yep.
It was the Tua haters, the detractors of his. They watched that and went, "Told y'all."
Well, and that's the problem because unless you get home field in the AFC, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Kansas City. You're going outside, and in January, buddy, I'm not saying it's going to be 0, but it ain't going to be sunny and fast.
I wish it was 0. It would have been nice. 0 would have felt like summer compared to that. But I I was on the other side of things. I was shocked that the Dolphins played as much 0, speaking of 0, as they did. And I don't know why you would try to play Mahomes that way. God just makes the right play with the football.
Mm-hmm.
Beat it. He beat the pressure damn near every time with the ball. Rashee Rice was running away from guys on those crossers. Kelsey got to go to work a little bit, had some nice plays. Mahomes is he's just so good. As you watched Tua struggle the way he did, and then you watched Mahomes handle their pressure plan the way that he did some damage with his legs in key spots, especially most notably that 4th down. It was night and day watching those two dudes operate at the quarterback position.
Well, I mean, it's the first time Tua's thrown a ball in any, like, they didn't have any time to gear up for that at all. And I know it wasn't that cold all week, but, Mahomes still has the ability to practice outside in the elements to know what it's like to throw a ball in freezing cold temperatures. And like, they got off the bus and were like, what the hell's going on here? Like, this, you can't play football in this. And then you got to go out there and try and adapt on the fly. You just can't do that in the NFL playoffs.
Miami had 3 starting offensive linemen come out in sleeves, and I went, I've never seen that. So it went about it the way that I thought it would. And the old Belldozer got to play a lot. Ted, how do you like going in motion full speed and then going and hitting Melvin Ingram? That's fun. Did it about 10 times.
I'd rather do it if it's a big part of the game plan and I'm playing a lot, other than I've been standing there for 3 hours and all of a sudden we're going to start running the football at the end of the game and you're frozen trying to jog on the field and get going.
Luckily, Blake, he played a lot of snaps. That's the most snaps he's played in a while. So I was fired up for him. But I think the game within the game, what I was focused on, Creed against Christian Wilkins, basically like drugs for me. Creed is so good, dude.
Sleeves on?
Nope. No gloves either. Psycho.
That's a problem. That's
Now he had he had the hand warmer and he put him in there in between plays. He's not a complete idiot. If he didn't do that, honestly, he wouldn't have been able to feel his hands. It was that cold.
I saw they were, just to cut in on that real quick, they were showing like the highlights from the old Ice Bowl and stuff with the Packers, and like I don't think any of the players that I saw in those videos had gloves on. None of them.
Insane people.
But
last 2 things.
No shirts on. I know that.
Yeah, I didn't see any shirtless people this time. If you were shirtless, like, you were in danger. Straight up.
I think it was a guy that is like had to go to the hospital for hypothermia, I think.
Well, he was probably doing something stupid. But
yeah,
I thought Creed handled Christian Wilkins, who a lot of people consider, other than Aaron Donald, the best defensive tackle in football. Creed's going to get $100 million. His next contract's going to be $100 million. And then the last thing on that game, Mahomes' helmet breaking was crazy. Never seen that. Never seen that.
Mm-mm.
I guess they don't test that helmet in those type of temperatures, which I don't really blame them because it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. It should have been a call. Should have been a targeting call on Mahomes, but other than that, pretty crazy. Big old chunk snapped off of there.
Targeting on the quarterback, you'll have to miss the second half. What? Could you imagine that if that was a rule in the NFL? Mahomes has to miss the second half.
See the second half and the first half of next week's game.
The first half of next week's game. Oh, it's funny when you frame it that way. All right, my loser of the weekend. Thought about going with the Cleveland Browns. Man, We talked about Dallas not playing well. Holy. Whew. CJ Stroud is that dude. I told you. He's that dude. That was a whooping.
That's the final like nail in the coffin on who won the trade, I guess, right?
You think? My gosh, the Texans they look good, man.
Yep.
That was really impressive for them to carve up that Cleveland defense the way that they did. Cleveland was favored in that game,
Mm-hmm.
and the Texans embarrassed them. And Joe Flacco looked old.
Which I will say, like D'Amico Ryans was probably who I would have hired at Alabama or would have tried to hire. Maybe they did, and there was no chance at it.
You're not leaving the NFL when you got a quarterback like CJ Stroud. No
Yeah.
chance.
Yep.
Got to be feeling real good about things. But my loser of the weekend, anyone in the Oklahoma City Thunder's way. Let's go, baby. Portland Trailblazers on Thursday night, smacked Orlando Magic on Saturday night. For the guys that weren't playing for the Magic, maybe it wasn't as dominant of a win as you would like if you're a Thunder fan, but hey, you take it. Comfortable win. Team is rolling. And we don't have to spend any time on the Trailblazers game. That team stinks. That was bad.
Really bad.
But the Magic, winning comfortably, even with all the guys that didn't play for the Magic, winning comfortably on a night where you go 8 of 36 from 3, you'll take it, man. You'll take that every day of the week. And SGA, he's ridiculous. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's ability to finish around the rim is insane. I think he had, and to finish through contact, I think he had like 6 and 1s in that game. No one can stay in front of the guy. He is just, anyone that appears to guard him, he just goes by everybody. And he gets to the rim and into the paint at will. And he has developed an absolute arsenal of finishes. Just another 37.
Crazy. Athletic, mid-range, shoot the 3, athletic, can run. Fun to watch, dude.
Dude, I truly believe right now, if you had to poll everyone that has an MVP vote, I think he'd be your leader.
Wow.
He is playing really good basketball. You look at some of the other guys, I think Jalen Williams' confidence is continuing to grow.
And like it backs him up that the record's there. It's not just a guy that's playing great on a bad team. The record is right there. They're got to be close to are they number 1 in the West record?
Tied for the best record in the West with Minnesota at 27-11.
There you go.
And I just think a couple of other guys I've been really impressed with. Giddey's playing better. I know that he's dealt with a lot, but it seems like he's settled into his role. I think he's finally figured out that, hey, he's not the third guy anymore. He's more the fourth guy. And it just seems like he's playing with more confidence, passing the ball really well. He's going to have some bad shooting games, but he's also had some really solid shooting games. And it just feels like it's fitting better together than it was a month ago. Jalen Williams is awesome.
Yep.
I mean, he's so good around the rim, but he's really developing a go-to in that pull-up jumper. Just seems like it's unguardable. And he's starting to hit that at a good clip. My man Micic starting to look like the NBA slowing down for him a little bit. Now, he's not going to blow you away with stat lines, but you love his passing. He's a physical guy. I don't know. I like what I've seen from him. And it's a fun week to be a Thunder fan. Lakers on Monday, Clippers on Tuesday, Utah on Thursday, and then Minnesota on Saturday. So it's a tough road trip, but man, I'm all in on Thunder basketball, dude. It feels so good to be back.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that's
oh yeah, and Chet Holmgren's he's really good at basketball. He's rookie of the year at this point.
Stud.
stud. Feels watching Portland, because remember, Portland's who beat it, and then like the whole thing blew up,
Yeah.
right? Everyone remembers Dame Lillard doing the little wave. Still a great GIF, however you say it. Still great. It's great.
That was crazy though.
But
Nuts.
remember when Paul George said that was a bad shot? That was funny. But you think about where the Thunder were then, where this organization was 2 years ago when they got beat by 70 whatever, and then beat Portland the way that they did the other night. For that to flip like that in 2 years, it's crazy, man. It's a lot of fun, is what it is.
It's awesome. Yep. I love it. Got to keep it rolling.
No doubt.